Grading and reporting system have some very important functions in the education process, and these are the following. The first one, enhancing students' learning through the following. Clarifying instructional objectives, showing students' strengths and weaknesses, providing information on personal and social development, enhancing students' motivation, and indicating where teaching might be not modified. These can be achieved through a day-to-day test and in feedback and integrated per unit test. The second one, reports to parents or guardians. Grading and reporting systems also informs parents or guardians of students on the progress of their lives. Likewise, grades and reports communicate objectives to parents so they can help promote learning to their children, and also communicate how well objectives are made and met by these children. The last function of grading and reporting system is its administrative and guidance uses. The administrative and guidance uses and purposes for grading and reporting consist of the following. The first one, helping to decide promotion, graduation, honors, and eligibility. The second one, reporting achievements to other schools and employers. And the third one, providing input for realistic educational, vocational, and personal counseling. These three main purposes of grading and reporting by no means exhaust all possible uses of the activity. The main point, however, is that report cards and grades should promote and enhance learning rather than frustrate and discourage students. In many schools, report cards are given to students and the parents are asked to sign these report cards. It may be a good practice to call for parent-teacher conferences at this time so that the report cards will function as a motivation for further learning.
Good evening everyone, my name is Angela Sitama. My topic is all about types of grading and reporting. The types of grading used depends on the extent to which more descriptive and informative summaries are required by school authorities or by the stakeholders in general. We have 6 major types of grading. The first one is the traditional letter grades. In traditional letter grade system, students' performance is summarized by means of letters, those A, C, D, and F, which is A stands for excellent, C stands for average, D stands for needing improvement, and F as failure. The second one is pass-fail. The pass or fail system utilizes the dichotomous grade system. Either a student has complied in which certain standard, in which case he passed or he failed to do so, and he gets a failing mark. The third one is checklist of objectives. The objectives of the course are enumerated. After each objectives, the student's level of achievement is indicated. Outstanding, very good, good, fair, or poor. The fourth one is letters to parents or guardians. Letters to parents or guardians are useful supplement to grades. The fifth is portfolios. It is a set of purposefully selected works with commentary by students or teachers. It is useful for showing students strengths and weaknesses. The last one is parent-teachers conference. Are mainly used in elementary schools. This requires that parents of pupils come for a conference with the teachers to discuss the pupils' progress. That's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Gladys Ambon and I am going to report the development of a grading and reporting system. Grading and reporting systems are guided by the functions to be served by such in the educative process. The system will most probably be a compromise because of the host factors to be considered in the preparation of such. The important thing to note is that we should always have achievement separate from effort expended. Ideally, grading and reporting system should be developed cooperatively, such as parents, students, and school personnel, in order to ensure development of a more adequate system and a system that is understandable to all. They should display the following. First, based on pre-statement of learning objectives. This means that the grading and reporting systems need to be based on the same set of learning objectives that the parents, teachers, and students agreed at the beginning. Second one, consistent with school standards. This means that the system must support the school standards rather than oppose the school standards already set. And the third one, based on adequate assessment. This means that the grading and reporting system should be easily verifiable through adequate system of testing, measurement, and assessment methods. And the fourth one, based on the right level of detail. This means that the system must be detailed enough to be diagnostic but compact enough to be practical, not too time-consuming to prepare and use, understandable to users, and easily summarized for school records purposes. And the last one, provide for parent-teacher conferences as needed.
Let's proceed to assigning letter grades and computing grades. Grades assigned to students must only include achievement. It is very important to avoid the temptation to include efforts for less able students because it is hard to assess efforts or potential, and it is difficult to distinguish ability from achievement. Furthermore, if achievement and efforts are combined in some ways, grades would mean different things for different individuals. Grades reflected on report cards are numbers and numerical quantities arrived at after several data on the student's performance are combined. The following guidelines may be considered in combining such data. The first one, properly weight each component to create a composite. The weights used are normally agreed upon by school's officials of the example given, such as how many percent goes for quizzes, unit tests, periodic tests, and etc. The more scientific approach is to use a principal components analysis, which is hardly practiced in schools because of the difficulty involved. The second one, put all components on same scale to weight properly. First, equate ranges of scores. Second, or convert all to T-scores or other standard scores.
Ma'am, good afternoon, classmate. My name is Edmeline Ili, Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Math. I'm the fifth reporter for this group. So my topic is all about norm or criterion reference gradings. Norm reference refers to standardized tests that are designed to compare and rank test takers in relation to one another. Norm reference tests report whether test takers perform better or worse than a hypothetical average students, which is determined by comparing score against the performance test of a statistical select group of test takers, typically of the same or grade level who have already taken the exam. Calculating norms reference scores is called the process, and the comparison group is known as the norming group. Norming groups typically comprise only a small subset of previous test takers. Less developers variety of statistics to select norming groups, interpret raw scores, and determine processes levels. Norm reference scores are generally reported as a percentage or percentile ranking. For example, a student who scores in the 17th percentile perform as well or better than 70th percentile performs of other test takers of the same age or grade level and 30% of students' performance better are as determined by norming groups. And also, norm reference test taken often as a multiple choice format that some include open-ended short answer questions. They are usually based on some form of national standards, not locally determined standards or circular. It tests are among the most well-known norm reference tests, as are development screening tests where are used to identify learning disabilities in young children or determine eligibility of special education service. For examples of how to norm reference test and scores may use to determine a young child readiness for preschool or kindergarten. Tests may be designed to measure oral language ability, use social motor skills, and cognitive and social development. Another examples evaluate basic reading, writing, and math skills. Test results may be used for a variety of purposes such as measuring academic progress, making scores.
Hi everyone, my name is Danielle Elvison and my report is all about the distribution of grades and guidelines for effective grading. Distribution of grades and guidelines for effective grading. How should grades be distributed? The norm reference and criterion reference distribution of grades has been practiced for several years now. The norms reference or relative have ranked the students' distribution of a big issues because of the following consideration. A. Normal corp is defensible only when you have a large unselected group. B. When grading on the corp is full staff should set fair range of grades for different grade groups and courses. C. Grading on the course, any pass or fail decision should be based on an absolute standard. D. Standard on the range should be understood and followed by all the teachers. On the other hand, the criterion reference or absolute have assessed absolute level of knowledge. Grading system is not an issue because A. It seldom use letter grades alone. B. It often includes checklists of what have been mastered. C. The distribution of grades is not pre-delimited. Guidelines for effective grading. The following guidelines for effective grading and reporting are recommended for use in the Philippine schools. A. Describe grading procedures to the students at the beginning of the instructions. B. Clarify that course grades will be based on the achievements only. C. Explain how other factors, efforts, work habits, etc. will be reported. D. Relate grade procedures to intended learning outcomes. E. Obtain valid evidence, tests, etc. for assigning grades. F. Prevent cheating. G. Return and review all the test results as soon as possible. H. Properly weight the various types of achievements, including in the test. I. Do not go on achievement grades for tardiness, weak efforts, and misbehavior. G. Be fair, avoid bias. When in debate, review the evidence. Still debate, give the higher grade.
Good morning, ma'am. I am Richie G. Braswella, Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Mathematics. So, my topic is conducting parent-teacher conference. So, parent-teacher conference become productive when they are carefully planned and the teacher is skilled in handling just conferences. Skills in conducting parent-teacher conferences can be developed. There are 6 guidelines for a good conference. A. make plans. First, review your goals. So, enumerate and check your focus or main objectives of the conference. Second, organize the information to present. Combine and compile the same information according to their relevance to the main topic. Third, make list of points to cover and question to ask. Take note of the ideas and question so that we'll have a guide of the flow of conference. Fourth, if portfolios are both, select and review carefully. Read of all information written, and that way you will be familiarized of the content. Letter B. Start positive and maintain a positive focus. First, present students' strong points first. So, it is to encourage and perceive them to listen and pay attention. Second, be helpful and have example of work to show strengths and needs. Showcase a good traits and responsible doings. Third, compare early versus later work to show improvements. Cite examples and differences of working early than rushing and cramming. Letter C. Encourage parents to participate and share information. First, be willing to listen. Pay attention and listen carefully to the information that will be mentioned. Be open to their suggestions and questions. Second, be willing to answer questions. Honestly, answer queries and showcase interest. Letter D. Plan action cooperatively. First, what steps can you take? Should always assess the problem first and identify the possible solution or measure to take. Second, summarize at the end. Repeat the most important details that have well been discussed. Letter E. And with positive comment. First, should not affect generality. Comment truthfully and specifically. Second, should be true. Yes, but shouldn't be offending. Letter F. Use good human relations skills. Talk and ask politely, think before talking, and always consider the listener or others' feelings.